The first rays of the morning sun touched the small village of Greenfield. Birds sang cheerfully, and farmers walked toward their fields. But inside a small old house, an elderly woman named Mary quietly prepared breakfast. Mary had spent her entire life raising her only son, Daniel. After her husband passed away, she worked day and night. She stitched clothes, cleaned houses, and often skipped meals so Daniel would never go hungry. Her only dream was to see him happy. Years passed. Daniel grew up, found a good job, married a woman named Sophia, and moved back into the family home. Mary believed her lonely days were finally over. But she was wrong. Sophia never liked having Mary's presence in the house. She complained about everything. "Your mother is too old. She can't help with anything. She's just a burden." At first, Daniel ignored those words. But hearing the same complaints every day slowly changed his heart. One rainy evening, Sophia finally gave Daniel an ultimatum. "It's either your mother, or me." Daniel remained silent for a long time. Then he made the biggest mistake of his life. He walked toward his mother's room. "Mom." Mary looked up with a gentle smile. "Yes, son." Daniel couldn't meet her eyes. "I think it would be better if you lived somewhere else." For a moment, the room became completely silent. Mary's hands trembled. She had expected many things in life, but never this. Tears filled her eyes, yet she smiled softly. "If this makes your life peaceful, I'll leave." She packed a small bag containing a few clothes, an old family photo, and her late husband's Bible. Before leaving, she placed her hand on Daniel's head. "May God always protect you, my son." She walked away without anger, without complaints, without looking back. For the next few days, Mary slept wherever she could, sometimes at a bus station, sometimes under a tree. One afternoon, while sitting outside a small bakery, she noticed a little girl crying. The girl had lost her parents in the crowded market. Mary comforted her, bought her bread with the few coins she had, and helped reunite her with her family. The girl's father, Mr. Thomas, owned a successful bakery. He was deeply moved. "Where do you live?" Mary smiled. "I don't have a home anymore." Shocked by her kindness despite her suffering, Mr. Thomas offered her a small room behind the bakery and a simple job making homemade bread. Mary accepted with gratitude. She worked with love. Customers adored her warm smile and delicious recipes. Soon, the bakery became famous across the town. People lovingly called her Grandma Mary. Months turned into years. Mr. Thomas treated her like family. Eventually, he made her a business partner. Mary never imagined that losing everything would lead to a completely new beginning. Meanwhile, Daniel's life slowly fell apart. Sophia's endless demands grew worse. Debt increased. He lost his job. Their house was sold to pay loans. One evening, Sophia left him for someone wealthier. Daniel was left completely alone. For the first time in years, he remembered his mother. Tears rolled down his face. "What have I done?" He searched everywhere. He visited neighbors, old friends, churches. No one knew where Mary was. Months later, while walking through another town looking for work, Daniel noticed a large bakery with a long line of customers. A huge sign read, "Grandma Mary's Bakery." His heart skipped a beat. Could it really be her? He stepped inside. There she was, smiling, healthy, surrounded by people who loved her. Daniel couldn't hold back his tears. He fell to his knees. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I betrayed the person who loved me the most. I don't deserve your forgiveness." The bakery became silent. Everyone watched. Mary slowly walked toward her son. She gently lifted him up. A mother never stopped being a mother. She hugged him tightly. "I forgave you the day I left." Daniel cried like a little child. "I'm ashamed." Mary smiled. "The greatest mistake isn't falling. It's refusing to stand again." She welcomed him with open arms. Not because he deserved it, but because her love was greater than his mistakes. From that day forward, Daniel worked beside his mother in the bakery. He treated every elderly customer with respect. He spent every day trying to become the son he should have been from the beginning. People who visited Grandma Mary's bakery didn't just come for fresh bread. They came to witness a miracle. A mother's love, powerful enough to heal even the deepest wounds. Moral of the story: never forget the sacrifices your parents made for you. Wealth can disappear, success can fade, but a parent's love is priceless. Honor your mother and father while they are still with you, because one day, all you'll wish for is one more chance to say, thank you. When Emily was 10 years old, her world fell apart. Her mother passed away after a long illness, leaving behind a heartbroken daughter and a grieving husband. The small house that had once been filled with laughter suddenly felt cold and empty. For months, Emily cried herself to sleep. Every night she hugged her mother's sweater because it still carried her scent. She missed the bedtime stories, the warm hugs, and the comforting words that made everything feel safe. Her father, David, struggled too. He worked long hours and found it difficult to manage the house while caring for Emily. 2 years later, he met a woman named Susan and eventually married her. At first, Susan seemed kind. She smiled often and told everyone she would love Emily like her own daughter. But after the wedding, everything changed. The warmth disappeared, the smiles became fake, and Emily slowly became invisible in her own home. Susan had a daughter named Chloe who was the same age as Emily. Chloe received new clothes, expensive gifts, and endless attention. Emily, however, was treated differently. When guests visited, Susan acted like the perfect stepmother. "Emily is just like my own child," she would say. But behind closed doors, the truth was very different. Emily cleaned the house while Chloe watched television. Emily washed dishes while Chloe played with friends. Emily wore old clothes while Chloe received new outfits every season. Whenever Emily tried to tell her father what was happening, Susan always had an explanation. "She's exaggerating. She's acting out. She's jealous of Chloe." Over time, David began believing his wife. That hurt Emily more than anything. The one person she thought would protect her no longer listened. Years passed. Emily became quieter and quieter. She stopped sharing her feelings. She stopped asking for help. She learned to carry her pain alone. One winter evening, Emily was cleaning the kitchen when she found an old photo of her mother tucked inside a drawer. She stared at it for a long time. Tears filled her eyes. "I miss you, Mom," she whispered. At that moment, Susan walked into the room. "What are you doing standing around?" she snapped. Emily quickly wiped her tears and returned to work. That night, she sat by her bedroom window looking at the stars. For the first time, she made a promise to herself. One day she would build a better life. One day she would prove that her worth was not defined by how others treated her. She studied harder than ever before. While everyone slept, she worked on school assignments. While others doubted her, she kept moving forward. Years later, her hard work paid off. Emily earned a scholarship to a prestigious university. The acceptance letter arrived in the mail on a bright spring morning. When she opened it, she couldn't stop crying. For the first time in years, they were tears of happiness. She was finally leaving the sadness, leaving the unfair treatment, leaving the house that never truly felt like home. On the day she packed her bags, her father stood quietly by the door. As he looked at his daughter, he noticed something he had ignored for years. The sadness in her eyes, the loneliness she had carried, the strength she had developed despite everything had suffered. "Emily," he said softly, "I'm sorry." She looked at him. "For what?" "For not seeing what you were going through." The words broke something inside both of them. Years of pain came rushing to the surface. Emily hugged her father and cried. He cried too. Some wounds never completely heal. But acknowledgement can begin the process. As Emily drove away toward her new future, she looked at the sky and smiled. In her heart, she imagined her mother watching over her, proud, loving, and finally at peace. Sometimes the people who hurt us become chapters in our story. But they do not get to write the ending. The ending belongs to us. Red Heart Wilted Flower.